here are folks, people of passion. Pat Buchanan coined it in a good way. We are peasants with pitchforks, and we're trying to figure out who to aim them at. We sort of know, but we clash a lot. But the passion will go before us, and the problem we have sometimes is passion will get there before we do. And sometimes we have turf battles. I say Norm was very right. The thing most dangerous to our movement is ego and turf and the protection of them. So these folks that we have here on this panel, we think we have a good answer. These are dedicated folks. Each one is going to tell you, take 2 minutes to tell you who they are, where they meet, and what they do. And since I'm the moderator, I'm having Bill Bigler, who is a co-administrator of the Will Run Tea Party Caucus, answer any questions and give our 7-minute talk about what we do. And we're going to have 2 minutes introduction, each person will do. And then we will have, after that, 7 minutes approximately of each leader telling what their goals are, what makes their passion, and how they operate. Bill will do that for the Will Run Tea Party Caucus. And I will tell you right now, we have Dan Benefield sitting right down front here, and he's got a yellow card and a red card. Because if it's anything like at our caucus, we like to talk. And we want to hold our talk, which I could use my own advice here. We like to hold our talk to the limited time. So we're going to begin. I've introduced myself. I've given you a little bit about my passion. But you're going to see it in every one of these folks. So I think we will start with Ed. So Ed, give us your 2 minute.
Hi, my name is Ed Tomaszewski. I'm with the Metropolitan Detroit Freedom Coalition. We're based in southeast Michigan. We service that section of the state. I'm the treasurer of the group. Been with them probably since their 3rd week from inception. And that's basically it. We meet, we have regular monthly meetings. We have an executive board. We have a general board. And we're working on our nonprofit status. So that's the basic overview of me and MEDEFCO.
Good morning, I'm Tina DuPont. I was going to talk a little bit about what got me here. My first vote was for Reagan. Then I found and married an Air Force officer. We lived in Georgia for a while. That was kind of a foreign country to me, being from Ohio. But then I went to a real foreign country, which was Okinawa, Japan. And I wish every American would live overseas for a year, because it really makes you understand what you have here and what we could lose. While I was married to my husband, Clinton started decimating the military, and we decided to get out of it after my husband was in for 10 years. I also found out while he was in, though, that there were things that I couldn't say as a particularly an officer's wife, but just a military person in general, and that really kind of got to me. So when we got home, I heard Rush for the first time, and I decided, hey, I can actually say something now. So I started being a little mouthier, which I think is probably all of us on this panel.
No, not us.
I did finish and get a degree in finance. My husband found a job in the States, and the whole time as I was having babies and everything, I'm listening to Rush every day. I think I've graduated from the education and broadcasting that he puts out, although he says you never graduate. I found 2 other strangers when I started hearing about the tea parties, because I was looking for one, couldn't find one. And I said to my husband, if I cannot find one, I'm going to start one. And he kind of looked at me with, he didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant. I think now he probably wish I didn't. Although he's very, very supportive of me. He's a wonderful man. But now we have over 2,200 members on our website. We have 14 chapters in the west side of Michigan. And I'll talk about that a little later, how we went about doing all that. But we know we represent more than 2,200 because there's people without internet. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Tony DeMott. I'm the state coordinator for Campaign for Liberty. I got involved with this movement about 3 years ago after a campaign and getting into the legislative season and realizing that there was really nobody holding these people's feet to the fire. At that point, I found Campaign for Liberty and got involved. We are a statewide organization. We have members all over the state. We have groups all over the state, and we have county organizations and local organizations. We focus mostly on legislative accountability. So what we put a lot of our effort into is reading bills and looking at votes and holding people's feet to the fire. And that's not always an easy job here in Michigan. In the last legislative season, they introduced nearly 4,000 bills. And so to have a small group of people going through and reading all of that and trying to analyze it is very, very difficult. So we started a project called Project Watchdog. It's an online legislative monitoring system. And we ask local groups to get a few people together and sign up to monitor the committees that their legislators are a part of. And so far, we've had really great success. There's been a number of things that have come out of Project Watchdog where we've been able to actually act and influence the legislature. So at this point, we're very happy with that, and we're looking forward to going into the rest of this legislative season and providing a solid grassroots group and effort all across Michigan to hold their feet to the fire, push through good legislation, and stop bad legislation.
Good morning, my name is Janice Daniels. I'm by trade an associate broker realtor with Century 21 Town and Country. And so I have about 22 years of experience in marketing and selling residential real estate. I consider myself to be a natural-born conservative. I was born in a large pro-union Democrat family. So I have been fighting the cause of conservatism against abject socialism for my entire life. So when I heard Rick Santelli's rant and the original Tea Party movement was basically formed, I went looking for opportunities to help the mission, and I was honored to be contacted by various people like Dar Fisher from the Michigan Fair Tax Group. I helped set up the coalition that organized the Tea Party on April 15th in Lansing, Michigan. And I'm a firm believer in the fair tax, I think as many of the Tea Party movement are, although I don't speak for the Tea Party, I speak for myself, as we all do. But I'm always looking for opportunities to help restore our American constitutionally limited representative Republican form of government. I think it's very important the words we choose and how we are promoting the mission. So I always want to talk about the fact that it is republicanism, not democracy, that we're looking for. I have been honored to be able to help at the earliest stages of development of the original Joshua's Trailblazer group, the Troy Area Tea Party, and the Central Macomb Patriots Tea Party group. So I like to spread the involvement around as best as I can, because I think that our goal will be to go neighborhood to neighborhood and find Tea Party people. I also have a monthly column that is published in the Open Press. Now, I'm not paid by them, but that's an opportunity that I have to advance the cause of conservatism. Thank you all for being here.
Hi, I'm Bill Bigler, and I am here today to assist Dennis Moore with the Will Run Tea Party Caucus. And at this time, I'm going to speak to you later about my experience with the Will Run Tea Party Caucus. But at this point, I'd like to introduce Dennis Moore, who is our leader and the heart and soul of the Will Run Tea Party Caucus.
I didn't intend that to happen. What I want to be able to do was tell about his involvement with the Ann Arbor Patriots. I'm going to get a little bit of time. I'm going to give the mic now. Bill Bigler is the leader of the Ann Arbor Patriots. He chose not to do what I asked. Maybe I didn't ask clearly. Because I'm the moderator, I don't want to do both jobs here. When you ask questions, Bill is an intricate co-administrator and a tactical genius, I will say it, for the Will Run Tea Party Caucus. So I want him answering the questions and giving our 7-minute dissertation. I will talk in just a minute about what motivated me to start the Will Run Tea Party Caucus. But first, I'm going to give the mic to Randy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randy Bishop. I was a former business owner. My wife and I sold our business. I bought a semi-truck. We wanted to see where in this great country we wanted to retire, and being the conservative that I am, I didn't want to waste our gas money. I wanted somebody to pay me $2 a mile to see the country. Bought a semi, got my CDL license. I was endorsed by Homeland Security, TSA, to handle ammunition, explosives. I've been into all the military bases I picked up from the suppliers. I drove around this country starting in 2005, and I saw signs. When I left the state of Michigan and went into a right-to-work state, especially one with no state income taxes, I saw construction project signs and help wanted. Then I'd be stuck down in Atlanta, Georgia. I couldn't get a load back to Michigan because there was no freight coming back to Michigan. I'd never done anything political, but I started listening to my satellite radio in the truck all day long. And I decided that I was a staunch Republican, a staunch conservative, a staunch constitutionalist, libertarian, and I wanted to take my country back. And I got involved. I met a person who was running for president, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But bottom line is this. I started a Tea Party group. We led a tax day protest in Traverse City, Michigan, where I'm from, on April 15, 2009. And March 14th of 2010, I ran for state senate and challenged our now state senator because he wouldn't agree with me on right to work and Michigan fair tax. And I'll be telling you more about all that later, but bottom line is I have the passion that Dennis spoke about, and I'm hoping to convey some of that to you today. Thank you.
Folks, have you noticed there's a common thread? The pitchforks, what was it? My mind went blank. What was the phrase? Pitchforks? This happens all the time. By the way, I am the worst for preparation. If you don't get it from my gut, you don't get it. I'm telling you, that's why passion is so important. Yeah, Pat Buchanan, his phrase about pitchforks and...
We're villagers with pitchforks.
There's another word that goes with pitchforks. What is it, folks? Peasants with pitchforks. See how I get the audience involved? That was actually planned. Listen, the common thread between all of the folks that you've heard here is that we are average people. I'm a drywall contractor. My wife and I, my wife mostly, have had good success in raising 4 kids. We have 11 grandchildren. I am the example of a common person, but that's not so common. All of you are that. You have passion. And the fact that I was the director of the first Tea Party convention right here 2 years ago, 2009. Wendy Day did all the work, but I got a lot of the credit. It was my idea. But we came to this place. Pastor Franzel, by the way, is a patriot pastor, and we need more of those. He is a significant leader in our community of Tea Party motivated people. What I decided was that the statewide movement of the Tea Party was something that wouldn't be sustained the way that we did in the state Tea Party convention. So I decided to go local. I live in Willow Run. You'll see the Liberator bomber on our banner. We believe that we have another Liberator. The Willow Run Bomber Plant is within shadow distance of where we meet at the Big Sky Diner. And what we see is trees growing out of the roof lines of the once of a factory, the General Motors factory, the assembly plant, not the bomber plant, but they just get closed down.